your host, Nux. And since a lot of you guys apparently liked my anime similar to ReZero video, I'm gonna make an anime similar to Mob Psycho 100 video, the other anime of last season that got freaking popular, freaking great reviews, and honestly was freaking great. First, to tell you the qualities about this series that I would like to tell you similarities of. Mob Psycho is a story following a particularly gifted esper named Shigeo Kageyama, otherwise known as Mob for whatever reason. Now, I'm gonna list you why the series I'm gonna mention are similar to Mob Psycho as I go on. However, the main point of this series is how it's hilariously funny and also it's serious at the same time, without needing to be funny by overdoing certain mundane matters like JoJo seems to do. Mob is a character with a great personality, and that personality is shown throughout the entire series, shown more than developed, as he already had an incredibly solid character to him without needing to improve upon it. Though he's incredibly gifted, he has bumped into a master who has taught him don't use your powers in public, and he became an incredibly humble human being who honestly doesn't want to hurt anyone and honestly wished he didn't even have his powers to begin with. He just wants to live a nice, normal life. He can't, unfortunately, because he's a badass. On the subject of his master, Master Reagan is a con artist. He makes the world believe he is the world's best psychic. He has no powers whatsoever, and he is an incredible con man and very funny. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings on whether they like Reagan or not, but he was definitely my favorite character, and well, I understand why you don't like him. I just happen to like that persona. This is a top 10 list, but 5 are better than the other 5, so I will be saying it as a top 5 list with 5 honorable mentions, just so I can put more focus on those top 5. So in 5th place, Noragami. The way the world works in Noragami is very simple, okay? There are these gods. Now, gods need followers, or else they disappear. So the gods need us as much as we need them. Sort of. Anyway, to make it simple, he's a minor god and almost no one knows him, so he does these really shitty, simple, no problemo favors for people that they need to pay him literally nothing for, just so he can have that little teeny drop of recognition so he can remain in existence. He's also a badass fighter, even though he doesn't fight much anymore because of epic backstory that was actually revealed in the series. It is 2 seasons thus far, each season, the second one even better than the first, if possible, and it's very funny with amazing action, great characters, and the master-student dynamic is very similar between Mob Psycho and Noragami, even if for different reasons. It's a great show, check it out. In 4th place, I have Trigun. Trigun is very different than Noragami, and also quite different than Mob Psycho, but I'll explain to you why it's here. Vash the Stampede, the protagonist of Trigun, is a ultimate badass. They classify this guy as a humanoid natural disaster. He is that powerful. Stuff happens and they don't like him for whatever reason, but that's not the point. The point is, he's also a goofball. He also doesn't want to be known. He will never take a life from anyone, even while I'm sure a lot of you will tell me in the comments, Trigun has like literally nothing to do with Mob Psycho. I'm sure if you like one, you'll like the other. There's that humble badass in both of them that's just very appealing to me. In 3rd place, the greatest teacher ever, the great teacher Onizuka. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this one, 70 plus episodes, pretty oldish, it's really good. So, an important part that I seem to be focusing on in Mob Psycho is the personalities / abilities of Mob and Reagan. Also, the seriousness, but at the same time, comedy. Great teacher Onizuka has all of these qualities, except there is no Reagan and Mob, there is a combo. His name is Onizuka. He is a con artist, but he's also a badass. He is a sleazeball, but he is also freaking awesome and an epic role model, in a way, I guess, sort of. It is a comedy series at the same time. It is all the qualities of Mob Psycho, all rolled in one ball and put into the character of Onizuka. He is that awesome, so I suggest this show to you, and I'm sure you'll like it. In 2nd place, I know you all watched this show. I have a feeling that every single person in the universe that watched Mob Psycho 100 also watched One Punch Man. Okay, I'm suggesting One Punch Man. It is not 1st place, and honestly, I don't know why I put it in 2nd place. I think that Great Teacher Onizuka is an even better pick than it, but I'm putting it here. First of all, they were both written by the same guy, and they do have very much overlap. One Punch Man is freaking overpowered. I mean, there's no one in this universe that matches his power. Mob may eventually find an opponent as powerful as he is. It's not stated that, well, sir, what's your superpower? Well, my superpower is I am stronger than every other superpower. That's more or less what One Punch Man is. Mob is just really powerful. While One Punch Man is a total spoof with, like, no seriousness, and even the seriousness is funny in One Punch Man. Mob Psycho focuses on drama a lot, and that is, in my opinion, where it shines most. Also, I prefer the protagonist, Shigeo Kageyama, to Saitama, and I prefer Reagan to any character One Punch Man has to offer. I still prefer the series One Punch Man just because it's freaking goofishness, and it knows exactly its boundaries, and it knows it has no boundaries. So if you want the comedy version of Mob Psycho, One Punch Man is definitely one for you. And now let's list those 5 honorable mentions rather quickishly. So, let's go! Ping Pong, the animation. It's here because the art style is very similar. If you like the different art style of Mob Psycho, I suggest this to you. And also, Ping Pong, the animation is a freaking awesome show, and no one will tell you otherwise unless they haven't watched it. Because people have told me, wow, Ping Pong, the animation, that show sucks. Oh, so have you watched it? No. I just saw the opening or whatever. Don't trust those people. Ping Pong is awesome. Next honorable mention, Hunter x Hunter 2011. So you guys are saying, what the flip? There's no similarity whatsoever. And the similarity is in the delivery of the series. The narrator in both series plays an incredibly heavy role. Whether you like it or not, that's up to you. I personally found the narrator at the end of the Chimera and Dark and Hunter to be annoying as hell. But if you like the narration style, then I suggest a heavily narrated, incredibly put together series, Hunter x Hunter 2011. Definitely. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. As I mentioned before in the prologue to the video, the comedy style is very similar indeed. The over-epicifying every little detail. JoJo is the master at that, hands down, definitely. And I suggest it because I love the powers, I love the fighting, I love everything about JoJo's, and I love Mob Psycho. So it's a great suggestion because every season has a different protagonist that follows the JoJo line. You know, started with Jonathan Joestar, Joseph Joestar, Jotaro Kujo, Josuke, Hijikata, whatever, blah blah blah. That's not the point. The point is that JoJo is freaking awesome in his own way. Total distinct personalities, all total badasses in their own way. And none of them are similar to Mob, but they're also badasses. And Jotaro's humble about it, while Joseph is freaking douche. The point is, there is much variety here, and it's a great show, so I suggest it. Next, Gintama's another suggestion. Gintama is more of a suggestion to One Punch Man than it is to Mob Psycho, but since One Punch Man and Mob Psycho are largely treated as a very similar show, I figured Gintama would be a great honorable mention. It's hilarious. Deadpan protagonist, hilarious show. Definitely a suggestion, even though it's freaking millions of episodes. Next, Devil is a part-timer. It's here because the protagonist is a freaking badass, overpowered overlord of the universe. And, he wants to live a normal life, sort of. Let me explain how this situation happened. In the alternate universe with magic powers, dragons, and demons, all of a sudden, Demon Lord Satan was teleported into the human world. What's he doing in the human world, you may ask? Well, it's simple. I don't know. He got there somehow because the portal thingy opened. He had to escape because there was a war. Anyway, he has to live in the normal human world now with very limited power. When he unleashes his power, he's freaking unstoppable boss. But when he doesn't unleash his power, he's a normal guy that works in McDonald's. I guess McDonald's was copyrighted. It's hilarious. One of my favorite action comedies of all time. In case you don't believe me, feel free to check out my top 10 action comedy list. It's in my top 10 list playlist thingy on my channel homepage. Feel free to check it out. Anyway, let's do first place. I was waiting for this for a while because it's a show that's also been going on last season, except got way less than even a quarter of the popularity Mob Psycho got. And I can't read you the name because I don't know what that symbol thingy in it is, but we'll call it Saiki Kuso. Saiki Kuso is a very simply drawn, simply animated series about a guy named Saiki, who is a psychic. He's the most powerful psychic ever. He makes Mob look weak. He was born with pink hair, so he's like, wait a second, everyone will look at me and stare at me weird. So he changed the hair colors. You know why in every anime series they have weird colored hair? That's right, because of Psyche. You know why everyone has to call out their attacks? That's right, Psyche made it that they get attack moves if they call out the name to draw attention off himself. The guy freaking controls space-time. He's freaking awesome. He has every power you can think of, except he can't talk to most ghosts. Whatever, you'll watch the show, it's amazing. The show comes out every single weeknight, 5 days a week, 4-minute episodes. They're all hilarious. There's gonna be a total of 85. They're not finished right now. I'm hoping for another season because it's amazing. All the characters are amazing. This is a pure comedy. Yes, Psyche as a character is very serious, like Mob. However, he also doesn't want his powers to be known like Mob, and he's freaking awesome, like Mob. Also, his interactions with his classmates and everyone else is priceless. I suggest Psyche as my number 1 because, yes, it is awesome, it's hilarious, it's similar in many ways to Mob Psycho, and it was greatly overlooked. It was sadly greatly overlooked, and I suggest it. Feel free to check it out. Anyway, that's my list. If you want more of these similar to list thingos, you let me know, and maybe I'll get to doing them. I'd like to at least do them of the popular ones each season, so that after the season's over, you don't get that void thingo. And also, yes, special thanks to Briggs. I noticed you actually went to my Patreon page and pledged $1. You're so kind. I actually really do greatly appreciate it. Especially because I'm sure most of you didn't even know I had a Patreon page, because he wasn't really mentioning it in any of my videos, even though I made it, and I wanted to get to it eventually. But since you pledged, I'll just say, guys, if you can go Patreon me, that would be freaking awesome. There's a link in my channel art thingy. I would really greatly appreciate it, as I don't know if I can do this forever, and I will actually need to ask you for money when I need money, because money is something that everyone seems to need, even otakus. So with that, I bid thee farewell and have a great evening.